Hey there everybody, Mazarok here, and today I want to do a different style of tier list. This is for tanks, obviously, but this is the fun tier list. This is including double legendaries and 4-piece, which is why I waited so long to make this, because I finally got the 4-piece on my Druid, and I did some 15s, and I was able to gauge some fun factor to it. So now that I have 4-piece on every single one of my tanks, and every single tank has done at least one 15 with a 4-piece, which I think all of them are more than that by now. Yep. So I think we're good there. I want to talk about what was more fun, what made me giddy, what made me excited when I went into it and just had a blast playing. So that's what I want to cover today. This is purely subjective. This is my opinion, and this is the fun that I had with it. This tier list can look completely different for you, but if you're thinking about trying a spec and you don't know if it's fun or not, or anything like that, this might persuade you to want to play it a little bit more, because honestly, some of them have even shocked me. So before we get into it, please like, comment, subscribe. It goes such a long way, and I cannot do it without the support of you, the community. Every sub helps, every like, every comment helps, and I am constantly overwhelmed by the amount of positivity that comes out of everybody in this community, so I want to say thank you so much for that. There's a Twitch link down below if you like to see people stream. I stream. And as well, there's a community Discord link down below, which is also the Bloodstorm link if you're looking to join a fun social guild that is going to be getting more into raiding as time goes on. We are currently raiding now. We're just doing normal runs and having fun with that, but I do plan on getting into heroic. I like getting my AOTC, and I like getting AOTC on multiple characters. So that is something that we're going to be looking forward to. Right now, we are looking for DPS mostly, but if you play any spec, doesn't matter. Come on in. Even if you just want to join the community, ask questions, you can get a hold of me. I pretty much answer whenever anybody pings me or anything like that. I try to as best as I can. Sometimes there's people that beat me to the punch with a better answer or the exact answer I would have said anyway. So with that, in no particular order, I just threw them all down here in the F tier because they all suck. No, I'm just kidding. So we're going to go with the more recent one, actually. This is Bear. I just got 4-piece on Bear. Now, this one here, I am going to put a little bit of an asterisk to it. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but the only one that I've tanked 4-piece with Bear is on Necrotic weeks. And Necrotic just sucks. And the 4-piece, what it does is it radiates damage, but it also radiates healing. A lot of that healing gets neglected, obviously, because of Necrotic. So that made it feel not as good, but honestly, I'm going to put this in a solid B tier. It could be A in other non-Necrotic weeks, but Bear is already pretty good at dealing with Necrotic, and I was never really letting my stacks get too high. And with Ursoc's Fury, remember, I mean, on the first pull in Necrotic week that I did, they're like, dude, you're at 99 stacks. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm still at full health, and I've got 14 seconds of Incarn left. Let's go. Just do more damage. When my Incarn runs out, I'll worry about the Necrotic stacks. So that's just kind of how Bear works. Bear is a lot of fun in that regard, where you can kind of cheese a lot of mechanics, get through a lot of things. Very fun defensively, and the 4-piece added a ton of damage. It is actually pretty incredible how much AoE damage that radiates. So that's going to kind of be my baseline. We're going to go B for baseline, no, for fun. I actually had a lot of fun with it. The 15s that I did last week, I gotta say, I was starting to get a little down on Bear and not wanting to play it at all. But now that I have the 4-piece, I can absolutely see myself wanting to play it more. It's a lot of fun, an absolute blast to play with. Blood DK. Blood DK, if you guys do not know, are very, very strong right now. And if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you know that I have played Blood for a long time. It's always been one of my favorite tanks, whether they're meta or not, I don't care. But what changes with the double legendaries and tier sets? What changes with the tier set is they actually have damage for a change. That's really, really nice. And I mean, you can, like, we did 17 DOS last night and I was on my BDK, and I was competing with the tops for damage. Really, like, when I said in a previous video that the 75 stacks of blood to be able to get there and do that crazy damage is MDI style play. I meant it. In your regular live keys, you have to Heart Strike 25 times to be able to get the 75 stack of strength that it was before the nerf. Most of the time, you're not going to be doing that in a singular pack, in your weekly 15s or anything like that. The packs melt a little bit too much or things like that. There are still times you can pull it off, but most of the time you're going to end up between 40 and 50 stacks anyway. Now you get an easier cap. You're not shoehorned into Kyrian as much to be able to get the free runes. But honestly, keeping up your defensive of Dancing Rune Weapon has been so fun for me to do. Being able to see myself actually do damage as blood for a change and compete with, on some polls and this or that has been a freaking blast to play. It is still super technical. So if you're thinking of going in and you're playing blood and you're just going to just start murdering the meters, not true. You have to know how to play it. BDK is a very technical spec to play, but if you do know how to play it, man, is the four piece is incredibly fun. It's just not necessarily fun the first time you play it. You have to learn how to play around it and with it, but when you do, oh man. Not to mention, this week I have done, on all the keys that I've done this week with Necrotic, for the first time in my life, I can say Blood has been the funnest tank to do Necrotic keys on this week. I used to dread it. If you watch any of my previous Great Vault videos, it was, I do one weekly 15 on Necrotic weeks on Blood, and I basically just ignore it. But with Dancing Rune Weapon uptime being increased to almost full uptime, effective uptime during fights, pretty much always effective uptime, you have it up, you're actually parrying off so many necrotic, would-be necrotic stacks that you actually just get random resets throughout the dungeon. During the other side that we did, there was literally one pull, and it wasn't even the biggest, where RNG just hit me, and I got 40 stacks. Literally, that was it. Aside from that, I had even forgotten Necrotic was an affix on this tank during that time. So I have to say, absolute baller to play. Prot Warrior, my love. C tier for fun. I don't feel like it increased my defensive capabilities much. The ignore pains are nice, and I like seeing myself being a little bit high on the healing meters than I was before. But my damage was already good on Prot Warrior in the 15s and things like that I was doing. It was already really good. This increases that damage, but it doesn't... It actually shoehorns you into a not fun playstyle where you have to watch your rotation more. Because if you have a stack of outbursts, you don't want to Thunderclap. You actively do not want to hit Thunderclap, and if your your Shield Slam is on cooldown, you literally don't want to press, and you have no other buttons to press. You literally just want to auto attack until you get something else that you can press that could reset Shield Slam to be able to hit it, because you do not want to use your outburst on Thunderclap. It's not worth it at all. And that, to me, you're now limiting my rotation, which was very fast-paced beforehand. Lots of crazy fun. Although, if you do have an enhanced shaman in your party, I would put this up to B tier, because you get a lot more Shield Slam procs where you don't have to worry about your rotation not hitting Thunderclap as much, because sometimes you can just keep hitting Shield Slam from the resets from the Devastator and things like that. But I gotta say, I think Prot Warrior is a C tier. C tier set. The double legendary as well is nice, but I gotta say, I think it's one of the tanks that I'm having the least amount of fun on this tier. I gotta say, it's sad. Anyone that's watched the channel for a long time knows how much I love Warrior and how much I defend them. But after playing all of the tier sets with the double legendaries, it's probably one of my least favorite ones. Vengeance Demon Hunter. All right. To anybody who's been following this channel for a long time, you know that I've never really played much Vengeance, never really had much desire to play Vengeance. It's going into S tier for fun. It's, oh my goodness, getting the 4-piece with the double legendary and the double legendaries with the Fell Devastation resets and the Elysian Decree. I can't. I'm going into 15s, and I'm just having a baller time playing this spec, man. And on the weird thing is the more you are in the most amount of danger as a VDH when there's nothing, when there's just one target. That's when you're in the most amount of danger. The more targets you have, like, the more you can't die, because your Immolation Aura just creates so many soul shards, which you can Spirit Bomb. So this is my Spirit Bomb build. This is the one I've been running. The Fiery Brand one is much more defensive, which I don't think in the long-term things would be the funner spec to build. But with the 4-piece and the interactions with how all of that works, I can see myself pushing keys as Vengeance, and I am actually looking forward to do it. I'm only like eye level 260 right now, but keep up with that because I'm more than willing to put some time into Vengeance. There are going to be some guides coming up for Vengeance as well, but the amount of fun that I had going into my first 15 key with tier set and double legendary, honestly, I got thrown into it as well. I literally just said I got my 4-piece. My buddies were like, all right, 15, let's go. And I was like, I've only done like 7s and 8s. Like, you're fine. I had a blast. My heart was pumping. Everything was high energy, high octane. I have to say, like, if you're looking for a fun tank right now, 4-piece VDH with double legendary, chef's kiss, absolutely fun. Brewmaster, I am going to put this in a high A tier, almost S. And the reason why is because we're going to have to grade this on a curve. I'm having so much stupid amounts of fun with these two that this one gets left behind just a little bit. Without these two being as fun as they are, Brewmaster would be right up here. But I got to admit, I've been wanting to do more keys on Brew. I feel like only doing 4 keys is not enough because to get for the 415s for my vault, just because I feel like it's neglected and I'm missing out on more fun that I could be having. And the first few keys that I did with the 4-piece, the Keg of the Heavens, it really felt like it solved 2 things for me. Keg Smash now generates more snap threat, which is insanely nice to have as Brewmaster, but also the increase in your health, the healing that it does. It goes from being semi-relying on a healer, because you didn't super need a healer as Brewmaster until you got into like high keys, to in 15 now. Like, the Holy Paladin I run with doesn't even beacon me on my Brewmaster because there's no point. It's just, he's like, nothing gets through because you're just constantly healing yourself through constant keg smashes and increasing your health, and just the amount of the big celestial brews that you get, everything synergizes so well. And the amount of utility, of course, that you get. But the double legendaries, I really like. I've been kind of a little bit more keen on Kyrian, but I've been playing a lot of Necrolord as well, with the special delivery build with Necrolord versus Rushing Jade one with Kyrian. They're all very viable, but I gotta say, if you're just looking for a fun tank to play that offers a lot of utility and just has a hard time dying, Brewmaster is definitely high up there. Chef's kiss to whoever redesigned that tier set, because it makes the spec incredibly fun to play. And then last, my main Prot Paladin. I'm going to put this one in a lower B tier. It is fun. The extra generation is fun. I noticed it big time when I first got it. This could also be a product of how long it's been since I got to experience it, and maybe I've just been doing more than enough keys where I've had it. And I might have to like take off the tier set to realize what I'm missing or something. But when you're just looking at the general fun factor of the tier set with the extra judgments and stuff, it really smooths things out. It lets you get more Shield of the Righteous in. It is still one of my highest damaging tanks by far when I end a dungeon. My record for highest DPS dungeon, I think, is still on Prot Paladin with like 13.1k or something overall. Still fun and still incredibly tanky. I'm pushing 20s with my Paladin now versus these ones here are at 17, 18s. For Brewmaster, Blood, and Vengeance are all doing 17, 18s now. Bear is still at 15s. We're going to see how high I go there, but it's still a low eye level, but I'm very comfortable at 15s. And Prot Warriors between the 15 and 17 range. excuse me, just due to eye level. But I had more fun combining the double legendaries with the Unity and the Shield of the Righteous and Mythic Plus. By the way, this is mostly Mythic Plus fun tier list versus Raid, because I find raiding is actually kind of boring for tanking. It's not the most thrilling thing in the world. Just kind of is what it is. So this is more or less based on Mythic Plus, if you are wondering. But getting the 4-piece tier did add a lot and added more fun because you're doing more, made your rotation a little bit more high octane, gave you more Word of Glories, more Shield of the Righteous, and all that fun stuff. A much easier holy power generation, but I had a much more fun uptick in getting the double legendaries and combining those together due to the synergies of Divine Resonance and Shield of the Righteous than I did getting the 4-piece combined with everything. So for that, it took a little bit of a hit. But this is my fun tier list for what it is. I hope you guys. What's been the most fun tank for you? Have you played all of them? Which one did you just have that over? Like when you end a key and you're just grinning in happiness, no matter how the key went, but you just had a ton of fun. That's the tank I want you to comment down below. Aside from that, I hope you guys are enjoying 9.2 as much as I am. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for listening. Have yourself a good day.